Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be talking about API or Application Programming Interface and what that is. APIs is a set of rules and protocols that allow different software applications to communicate with each other. APIs is defined as method of data formats that applications can use to request and exchange information. They play a crucial role in modern software development by enabling developers to build on top of existing services and systems, creating more powerful and integrated applications. So that would be an obstacle that APIs can potentially solve. When developing any particular software, that software might have interface as well. That would be more of the front of the software would have particular interface. Back end of the software would potentially be looking to solve any particular problems with perhaps determining how much stock you do have in your inventory when you're making a request to purchase anything on the front end or your customer does. Uh, I personally trying to understand APIs and how they work. My initial thoughts and ideas is that APIs and all of that particular software need to speak with a different software, perhaps to determine where perhaps a physical location of where the stock is at the time, which not necessarily your particular software would be using, but completely different software would be using, and how these two different softwares would be talking to each other. Hope that makes sense. That's how I understand it. But I'm looking to do a little bit more research to understand it even better. Some key points about APIs. Functionality. APIs expose a specific set of functionalities or services provided by software applications. These functionalities can include data retrieval, data manipulation, overall authentication, and more different obstacles or problems that you're looking to solve where you would require additional support. Interoperability. APIs enable different software systems, regardless of the programming languages or platforms, to interact with each other. This promotes interoperability and allows developers to mix and match various services to build comprehensive applications. I hope that works and nothing breaks, especially with the particular softwares and different codes and how those two softwares would be talking to each other. Even now, if I'm looking to post my podcast on different platforms, I hope that all these platforms can talk to each other and understand different languages. Because sometimes it can break. I wish for some of the software developers and looking to adapt different languages and how those languages can potentially talk to each other. Wish that they could potentially coincide and work together without breaking. HTTP and REST. Many APIs are built using HTTP protocols and follow the principles of representational state transfer. RESTful APIs use standard HTTP method get, post, put, delete. That would be potentially a way of processing information. Again, if you need an example, I can give you an example. So just try to imagine how many different businesses your organization need to collaborate with, right? If you look into you perhaps do your business activities domestically, all the operations been done in one particular way. But if you do looking, or your business perhaps would be looking to expand, if not right now, perhaps in the future, different region or territory might do business completely different, and you need to understand how different regions would do business differently, right? So this particular step-by-step process might look differently depending on the region and perhaps the culture and different understanding when it comes to business. Since I already can tell that different companies or different countries They even structure their business differently, where a lot of companies, perhaps in the US, they would structure the companies around the finance, as all the operations need to talk to finance. Other organizations perhaps would speak differently, right, depending on what region are we talking about. Even the structuring of organization would look differently. Data formats. APIs often use specific data formats for communication, such as JSON, JavaScript, object notation, or XML, extensible markup language. These formats are used to structure data in a way that both the client and the server can understand. Uh, Again, all the data and the way how this data need to work, assuming that there's no issues with the code or how you are structuring any code or services, uh, program language or software that you are developing, and that software potentially will be able to speak with other softwares. Authentication and authorization. To access an API, developers typically need to authenticate themselves and many other required authentication to perform specific actions. Common authentication methods include API keys, uh, or author tokens, perhaps depending on what kind of software you're looking to access, or and username password combinations. So most people would require username and password, but then or that would be just one layer of protection where you need to increase number of layers, perhaps 2 layers, 3 layers, depending on what kind of information you need to authenticate yourself and give access to. Rate limiting. To prevent abuse and ensure fair usage, many APIs implement rate limits, which restricts the number of requests a client can make within a certain time frame. I have seen that. There are some technology companies out there. So I'm just trying to understand myself a little bit better. And if that perhaps request for particular information, how that works, and if there is a rate limit, how you yourself or your business do not go over that limit, and perhaps how to operate within the limit. If you would go over, how much your business will be charged for that. That's something I'm trying to understand. Versioning. APIs often have various numbers of URLs or headers to ensure backward compatibility when changes or updates are made. This allows existing clients to continue function without breaking. Documentations. API provides usually often documentations that describe the availability and endpoints, request parameters, response formats, and user examples. Good documentation is essential for developers to understand how to use APIs effectively. RESTful, and so while RESTful APIs are prevalent due to their simplicity, there are other API architectures like SOAP, Simply Objective Access Protocol, that uses XML for data exchange. SOAP tends to be more rigid and has strict specifications. Do your own research which you believe would work more for you, depending on what problem you're looking to solve. Public against private APIs. APIs can be categorized as public, open to external developers, and often used to create third-party applications, or private, used for internal purpose within the organization. Web APIs. Many APIs are exposed all over the internet and are commonly referred to as web APIs. These are accessible via HTTP requests and are the foundation of many web and mobile applications. For you who would like to learn more, I would highly recommend to purchase my book. I have published the book Game Strategy. In this particular book, I'm focusing a lot on overall strategy. I'm planning of launching a number of books with regards to strategy, and sharing my own understanding, which I believe is important for any person interested in starting a business as well as running a business or investing into different businesses. In this book, I'm sharing a lot of market trends of what's currently happening in the different markets as well as where the market's going to be in the future, next 5, 10 years, making a lot of predictions of where the things are moving. For those of you who are interested in learning more and perhaps in the business consulting services, feel free to reach out to me. Or you can purchase my book in the description below, as well as Top Retailers has this book. APIs are a fundamental part of modern software development, as enabling the integration of various services and creation of mobile apps. The automation of the task and much more, developers can the particular problems depending on what you're looking to solve, either automation or perhaps access to external different softwares and how those softwares can potentially help you to solve particular problems for your customers. Developers can leverage APIs access to wide range of functionality and data, making it easier to build robust and future rich applications. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.